Two, Robin. I've got two of you, Robin, trying to get in.
Sorry, I'm
You
not
want me
sure
just,
why. I've just clicked on the one.
I'll say admit and just see what's going on. See if there's another Robin. Because I can't just let everyone in because some people haven't done their homework, so I'm not letting them in. Ah, that's you, Robin. So, I'm just going to remove that other one, Robin. Oh, no, I don't want to report you. Don't report. Tabitha. Lynette, are you with Shane? Oh, you're on mute.
No, I'm not. We're two different spots.
That's right. We're talking to him. I'll let him in.
Yeah, let him in. I will actually go black at some stage soon, but I'm still here, and then I'll pop up again because I'm
Okay.
multitasking
As we do.
as we got to do. That's exactly right. Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong camera.
I'll let Shane in. Shane was given a little reprieve. He hasn't done his homework. We're just chasing him up on it. But he didn't make it the first week, but I allowed him in because he's got a lovely wife. And only because of that. Well, we're not officially wife, but we call him, it's good as.
He's got to stick a ring on it to be able to call me that.
Yeah, I know. But, he's got a good woman in his life.
He's got a plan in
Yeah,
he's got
so
a plan happening.
yeah, we might do too. We might be all in a secret. Oh.
Could be.
Right, I don't think I've missed anyone. Okay, let's talk about some people haven't been let in because they haven't done their homework. So some of you just scraped in because you partly did your homework. I don't think you played full out. Because I got your action sheet back telling me you did it, but you didn't show me that you did. I want to see those numbers so I can help you with them. Yeah. But let's go over. So your homework was to set up the bank accounts. Yeah. To set up at least 3, make sure that you weren't getting charged fees. Some of you wanted more than 3 because you wanted, a holiday account or a, new home account. And that's all good as well. You could have 10. It just gets a bit confusing if you have 10, but make sure you had the, at least your GST or your taxes account and your savings account, what you're going to put into there. Yeah. Then start having a look at the numbers worksheet. I didn't expect this to be finished this week, but I wanted some stuff to be put in there. Yeah. Because now I wanted you to start working on your expenses. And some of you did that full out. Some of you started on it. But we're going to complete that this week. Yeah. Thank you, Cheryl and Bridget, because you showed me exactly what you did. You even sent me your bank accounts, which I loved because it was very, very clear to me. Yeah. How you set them up and what they were called. So those screenshots. So thank you.
Okay.
But the Bridget, I think Cheryl, you did the same. Just forgive me because I've got it all. I'm a printer. I cut down trees, but I do recycle and give back in other ways. Cheryl Yeah, and Bridget. So you did your, just correct me if I'm wrong, I want clarification here. You did your expenses for the week, fortnight, and month, but you wrote them in the income column on your numbers worksheet. Is that what you did? Cheryl, can you just take yourself off mute and confirm that for me? I don't know where Bridget is. She may not be able to chat. So Cheryl, you did your monthly expenses for me, the three columns.
Yeah.
And then on the numbers worksheet, you wrote that figure in the income.
Oh,
There are your expenses.
oh, I see what I've done wrong.
It's just moving it down one.
Yep. I actually helped Mum with hers on the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, so you did that. You both did the same. Just put it in the wrong column. That's all.
Yep.
So you just need to move that down one. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, doing it now. Yep.
This week, so has everyone has said to me they've set up the bank accounts. Is that true and correct? Is there anyone that's just given me a furphy and said I really didn't do it, but I sent it back anyway? Yeah. Okay. So, the expenses, because some of you did a great job. What's the other? Tabitha, I didn't see your list of expenses, but you've got the totals in here for me. So great work. We've got, when we think about your expenses, there's two types. Yeah. There's your break-even expenses and your non-break-even expenses. So your break-even expenses are, it doesn't matter how much work I do or don't do. Girls, can you help me out, please? With work, in your business, whether you do or you don't, these expenses are going to stay the same. Yeah. In your business. Yeah. So you might have to pay for a software or your website hosting or your coaching. They're not going to change whether you have no clients or 1,000 clients. They're not going to change. So I want to know what that break-even expense, we're going to break these down. So those expenses you looked at, Cheryl, we're going to look at them. We're going to tighten this up now, yeah? So we have a list, put them in two columns. One, what's not going to change? And at the end, you all should be able to tell me what your break-even is for the month. I need that whether I sleep all day and do nothing. That is my bottom income earning. Yeah. Then I have some other stuff going on. Yeah. And that will increase. Like if I'm running an event, I've got some, like I just did hypnosis. So I've got some break evens with that event. But in my business month to month, that's not my break even. Yeah. So Kim, who's my videographer for my hypnosis event and my Grow Your Coaching Biz event, he's not a part of my break-even expenses. That doesn't keep me operating on a month-to-month basis or a week-to-week basis.
Oh.
But my mobile phone is. It's a monthly expense. Sometimes it varies a little, but you get an average of what that is. That telephone account is my break-even. I need that telephone every week, every day, every month to operate my business. Yeah. So what are these break even for my business? We have some personal stuff as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. But in my business, what do I need to operate? Yeah, Tabitha.
Far out do you go as far as the break-even expenses? So I have like a small furniture loan that'll be paid within 3 months, and then I have a business loan, but that's like 5 years. So I have everything lumped into the one.
Into the loan.
Into the one expense amount. So I have the loan plus all my, I mean, what little revolving things I have.
Yes. So
okay,
we're gonna so you do the list, right? So you write down the 10 things or the 20 things that make up your break even. And then you'll have your break even expense. It'll be 10 grand a month, 5 grand a month, or $40,000 a month. And that's made up of those little loans, electricity, telephone, hosting software, if you pay for Zoom, all those 20 things will make up the one figure of your break even.
Are you saying break it into what? So if you're paying your subscription for the so I've had my bill come in to host the website, say, and it's $900. Do you just say, okay, well that's my cost, but I break that up over 12 months?
Yeah, you need to know it monthly. There'll be some cash flow stuff going on, but I want to know you need 30 grand each month or 5 grand each month, and over the year, that is your break-even costs. Yeah. You can't be going, I need this month 5 grand, this month 10 grand, this month 2 grand, this month 8 grand. We're going to even it out. So, and when I ask you next week, I'm going to go, what's your break even for the month? And you're all going to tell me that figure. Okay. Now you'll have other expenses, like if you run an event or, you go to an event, or, the like, or you might need to buy something new for your business. That's not a break even. We want to know what your break even is.
So another way I could say this in my brain is it's my running cost.
Running costs. Yep, running costs. That if you do nothing, you still need to pay those bills.
Yeah.
And if you do 1,000 clients, you still have those same costs. Admittedly, like your telephone, you might, well, if I have 1,000, clients, my telephone's going to go up a little. Well, then your break even goes up a little if you've continually got 1,000 clients, right? So your break evens change as your business does grow. Right now, if you did nothing, this is what I need. This is a very important number in your business. Yeah. Now you're going to draw yourself a wage to pay. I'm going to talk about personal expenses now, because that's just business expenses. Let's just stick to the rules. Yeah, that's the business expense. And then we're going to break the rules. Do you want 2026 or we just did 2025? No, do current. Karen, what is it now? Because it might have changed from 2025. And then you'll be working on 2025 and we won't have the cash flow because things have changed. Yeah. It's a snapshot. And you can check in on this regularly through the year because, things go up. How often do you get from a supplier, oh, our fee's going up? You don't have any choice in that. Just, they're going up. Yeah. Okay. So then you have personal expenses. Now, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a solicitor. I'm not the Australian Taxation Department or the US Taxation Department, right? This is what I do. You make your own choices. Most of my personal expenses come out of my business because they're related to my business running. So your accountant can tell you that your electricity at home, you'll pay a certain percentage of electricity from your home because you're running and operating your business from home. So you'll have some opportunity in Australia, particularly. So electricity, your internet at home, your fuel. So here in Australia, we do a logbook for our car. When I did my last logbook, my accountant said, gee, you live a boring life. You just go to work and back. He said, is this true? I actually did it true. I was just like, work, back, work, like to the office, back, you know. And a certain percentage is being able to write back to your business. So I do it, and my accountant is good. So 100% of my car comes out of my business. And then at the end of the year, he writes back to my capital account the 20% of personal use. Some accountants will go, oh, you've got to pay that personally. And at the end of the year, you claim 80% of that back in your tax, and you never get the cash flow benefit of that. Yeah. So I pay for my fuel, 100% of my fuel through my business. I pay for 100% of my telephone through my business. Yeah. And then we make some journal adjustments at the end of the year for my personal use. So I'm not claiming it all on. I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. So anywhere you can pay expenses through your business as a business expense and then just write back your personal, put it through your business. You don't want to be paying anything. So you're going to draw your wage. Say you drew a wage of $1,000 a week. You don't want to be paying for your fuel, your home internet, your Netflix, all of that through your personal stuff. Yeah. You want to pay it out of the business and then do some write backs at the end of the year. Because that way you draw yourself a lower wage and you're paying less tax on that wage. You want to pay it before tax, not after tax. So when, anyone that does an expense account on my weekly expense, not a lot comes out of my wage. My groceries, my clothes, and some of my clothes I pay through my business because it's uniforms. I just found out only a few years ago, I wasn't doing it all the time, my makeup, because I run events. In Australia, there's a certain amount you can charge into so every second or third time I pay for my makeup through the business, so I stay under the threshold. So at home I pay my body corporate fees at home. I pay my groceries, clothes, entertainment, food. Eating out sometimes is business-related expense. Travel is always a business-related expense. Yeah, because I'm sure that wherever you travel to, you're either going to a conference, learning something new, or seeing a potential client or a current client. Yeah. So you've got to get creative with your business expenses. I'm not saying go to jail stuff, but you need to be creative. You need to have a good accountant. Accountants are conservative. But anywhere I can attach it to a business expense, it runs it through my business.
What about where you have other income streams which are business related?
That's income.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like a lot of that stuff already happens to my account. Like 90% of that is business related, such things like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
If it's business related, run it through it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know much else that comes out of my wage. So you can draw a lesser wage, pay less tax to the government, right? And live very comfortably. Yeah. So you won't have as large a profit in your business because you're drawing down on those expenses. But when you go to sell, you do a list of write backs, which are called, write backs, which is these are my personal expenses coming out. And so the purchaser understands these are write backs. Yeah. So some people have their children's car running through their business. They're paying for their child's fuel, right? So the fuel expense looks high, but you can do it as a write back when you go to sell your business. People understand, purchasers understand write backs. Yeah. So I want you to think about everything you can attach as a business expense. If you're not sure, ask me. I'm not your accountant. I don't want to give you financial advice. I'm not giving you legal advice, right? This is on recording. I'm not giving you that. I'm just telling you what I do. And this is my suggestion. You get your own advices, yeah? But yet, I don't know any business owner that doesn't do this. Okay? You need to be attaching things to your business expense. Like your insurance for your home. There's a percentage you can claim in your business. Yeah. Fuels. Electricity. I'm just looking down some of the expenses that I've received from people. The roadside assist is all business. It's my business expense. You're not going to go to jail for that. Yeah. Most things that you do would be attributed to your business anyway. Yeah. Truthfully, you're not, if you meet up, when I went to Melbourne, we met up with Cheryl and Robin and Bridget. That's an expense to my business. Because we chatted about all sorts of stuff. Yeah. I don't pay that out of my personal wage. That comes out of my business expense. It's not a break-even expense. I should put margaritas in there as a break-even. Talking to my dad yesterday, and he was like, I was talking about running my marathon, my half marathon. And he's like, you won't be able to drink margaritas that week, will you? That's what he said to me yesterday. I'm like, no, definitely not. Now he's thinking about my margarita drinking as capabilities. As a business expense. My travel down there was a business expense. Yeah. My accommodation down there was a business expense. The more you can get into that expense column of your business, the better off you be on the back end. Yeah. Because people go, oh, I need to draw more wage because you're paying all this personally. You don't draw it out from your wage. So that all makes sense to everyone. So when you're doing expenses, I want you to go, what are my business and what are my personal, and how can I now move that into a business expense? Your accountant will write back your personal stuff at the end of the year. He just does a journal and puts it into your capital account and says, you owe the company this amount of money because that's your personal expense. Don't physically have to pay it back. It's just a ledger journal. Yeah. I'm always in credit in my capital account because, you put money in and out and in and out, and so company usually ends up owing you money. Yeah. So this is your homework for this week. I want you to know you're clear. I'm going to ask you next week, what's your break even? And I want you to go boom, boom, boom. 5 grand, 4 grand, 6 grand, 20 grand, 40 grand. Yeah. I want you to be drawing those, what you may have perceived as personal expenses, out of your business. Yeah. Now, if you go, I don't have enough money in my business because you're earning a wage from somewhere else, when you put that wage into that trading account, that's where it'll go, that's your capital, right? So you're lending your business this money. So just say you had $1,000 expense this week for a business. You needed to buy, you won't even buy a computer. I was looking at my laptop because my IT guy said I need a new laptop. Buy new phones like they're coming out of my rear end. I hate buying new laptops. So just say you had $1,000 expense to buy a new laptop, but you don't have the money in the bank, but it's a business expense. So you put $1,000 into your trading account from your personal account, from your other wage or wherever you're saving, from your wherever. That goes in as your capital, and that is your input into the company, and the company owes you that personally. Yeah? It owes it back to you. So then when you've got a little bit of cash in the bank, you can draw it out without paying tax on it. So in your MYB or Xero, you need to have a capital account. Let's call it capital. I don't call it, some people call it loan. It looks like a loan. Sometimes the generic says loan, director's loan. Yeah, I call it capital because there's in and out. You're putting money in sometimes when you're not earning enough, and then you can take it out to pay you back the personal, for expenses, or just pay you back. Yeah. Because you might be out and you just go, I pay that personally, but it's really a business expense. So I went to fill up my fuel this week, and my fuel card's just not working. It's just saying C provider. It's not declining. It's the bar on it, I think, is buggered. And so I just got my personal credit card out and paid. So I give that receipt to my bookkeeper and go, you owe me that money back. Yeah. So she puts it in Sharon Jurd's capital account to show that it owes me that money. And now either she can pay me this week, or I can leave it in, because you might not have enough cash in the bank. You can leave it there until it does and pay it back to yourself in the future. Does everyone understand how that works? You must be telling your company it owes that money back, not paying it personally out of your wage and forgetting about it. You must keep a ledger of what it owes you. Yes, Deirdre?
Well, in our setup, we do that as a reimbursement.
Yeah. Reimbursement. Call it whatever you like, yeah? But I don't like loan because that just shows one in and one out. That, to me, in my head. You call it loan if you want to call it loan, yeah? But when I call it capital, I see it going in and out and in and out and in and out. That's how I see it in my head. Yeah. Because when you're starting off, you need to put some capital in for your business to operate. If you're going to have your personal bank account over here, that's not your business account. And if your break even's 5 grand a month, 5 grand's got to go into that business account from somewhere. Yeah. And that'll come from, if you're working another job, You put the money in there and then pay your business expenses out of there. So it's a totally different way. So think about what you're paying out of your personal account. Go, no, I'm not going to pay it out of there anymore. I'm paying it out of this trading main account, and I'm going to put the capital in. So the world, the ATO, your accountant, and yourself knows how much the business owes you back, because they're going to pay it back to you. You've got to disassociate yourself from the company, the business. The business now owes you this personally. Don't get it all intertwined where you're just paying things out of your personal account without noting this in your ledger. Is everyone with me? So the next task you're going to do, keep a note of this for me, Abigail, as we go through. I'm giving lots of tasks, or Sophie. So just recapping, you're going to get your break even, so you know how much it is, yeah? Then you're going to get your personal and business expenses and get them being paid out of your business account. And you're going to put your personal money in if you need to. Your break even's $5,000. So you might have your telephone might be direct debited out of your personal account. Move it over into your business account. Yeah. And then put the money in there to subsidize it if you have to. Is that making sense? If it's not, give me a shout out, because you need to do this. Yeah. Good. Okay. Some of you have, some of you haven't, because you didn't need to do it, but I wanted you to get thinking about it. Well, before we do that, I want to talk about your expenses first. Let's stay on that for a bit. When you're thinking about all these expenses, this week's job is I want you to call your suppliers and get a better deal. I want you to call your suppliers and get a better deal. Yeah. Now, this may take you a couple of weeks, but I want you to send me who you've called this week. Not one, many. Telephone, posting, internet. You don't have to change providers. Just call them up and say, I'm thinking about changing providers. What's the best deal for me through your company? I'm going to do some comparisons. What can you offer me? Oh, yeah, we've got this really great deal happening right now. We can get you off that plan onto this plan. We can get you a new phone and get you a new iPad, and you're going to be paying less. Who's had that happen before? Every time you ring Telstra, I can get a new device on a better plan. Telstra's our telco company, Karen and Tabitha, right? Our telephone company will give us a better plan with new devices every time. Your internet. I just changed my internet provider here at home. It was about the same money. It was a little cheaper, but I was getting more. Right? It may not be, we want to reduce our costs, but not always the cheapest is best. Insurance, personal health. Here, Tabitha and Karen, you guys might have to pay it personally, but we pay it personally here. We don't have our employers paying our medical for us here in Australia. Business insurance. I've had, just in HydroClean, their yearly business insurance it used to be about $6,000 or $7,000. And I've had new franchise partners coming in being quoted $70,000 for the same insurance, the insurance they need. Yeah, because we clean air conditioners. So the first thing the insurance broker goes is, oh, you're dealing with gas. So as soon as you're dealing with gas in Australia, that's a higher insurance. They're actually not dealing with gas. So easily you can have the wrong insurance. Yeah. So I want you to look down your expenses, and I want you to give me feedback on who you've called and how it's reduced. personal health, electricity. You might have gas in your home, your motor vehicle insurance. Last time we did this, the reduction in expenses were massive. Massive. And we weren't changing providers a lot of time. You may have to, but a lot of times you didn't. You just go to that provider and say you want a better deal. I'm doing some comparisons. I don't want to leave you. I've been loyal to you. You know, what's the best plan for me on my usage of internet or whatever? Yeah. I'm always, there's a thing, like I don't focus on my expenses, because if you focus on expenses, you'll get more of, right? Yet, and I check in to make sure that the expenses that I have in my business are the best. Abigail did this last year, didn't we? We looked at a lot of that. Do we really need to be utilizing that? You might have a subscription. You go, well, I'm not really using it now. We've had massive changes in our expenses, and going, hey, we don't need that now. We're not using it like we used to, that software. It's so much fun when you can reduce expenses. But you don't live there, but you just do it. So you take these next few weeks, because this does take some time if you've got a lot of suppliers. I'm not saying this is a 5-minute job, but I want to see next week in your feedback what you've done so far. I've rang this company, this company, this company, this company, and I got a reduction of this, 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 and this. I want real factual information, not, oh, I rang some people, yes, tick. I want to know the detail. Yeah. Okay. Everyone clear on that? I'm like, that's a pain in the ass job. I'll tell you what, you'll save money. Yeah. Then you can sit it for a number of months, 6 months, and know that you're on the right plan. Your expenses are fixed. You've got your break even, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah. You know you're on the right plan. Yeah. Okay. Now, some of you have given me feedback, some of you haven't, which I wanted you to start thinking about. What's your percentage that you're going to move over into profit? So if money comes in, so if you have a client, you get $1,000 in, how much are you going to move over into your savings and profit? And I said start low so you get used to it. Because if you're not earning a lot, you just got to get used to the habit of doing this. Yeah. So if you have a client and the money comes in, yeah, if it's 1% goes over to your tax account, 1% goes into your profit. I don't care if it's $10, but it must go over. So if you've got $100, 10 goes over, 10 goes over, you've got $80 to spend on your break evens. Yeah. So it gives you a true indication of how much money you have left. Because what we do is we spend it and then we get a tax bill and we don't have the money. Yeah. Or, it might be just, in your general savings that, I need to buy a new laptop. So I've got the money in my savings account to buy that laptop, or those expenses we don't plan for too much. That's in your savings. It might be just a general savings where you don't know what you're going to spend it on, but you make clear choices on that. Yeah. So what goes into the profit? So on the 10th of the month, I want you to move it over. On the 25th of the month, I want you to move it over. So I want you to set in your ideal week, in your calendar, on the 10th, go in and move over my tax and my profit. If you're doing your accounts weekly, do it weekly, but the 10th and the 25th at the minimum. And when you're looking at the balance of your bank account, you will know how much money you have to spend, have got to spend. Yeah. And if you're, and we'll talk about income, when we're just saying expenses, if you've got $100 in the bank and your expenses are 150, you're going to have to put $50 in if you haven't got any other income. And that might be from your job or elsewhere, because you've got to subsidize sometimes when you're just starting out. Yeah. So if you're starting out and you go, I don't have one client, but in my business now, when I've moved all these expenses over, I need $1,000 this week. You'll put $1,000 in as your capital, and then you'll pay the bills. Yeah. Then next week, if you haven't got a client and you've got another $1,000 expense and you haven't got $1,000 in there, you've got to put $1,000 in there. Is this making sense how it goes like that? Yeah. Ideally, you'll have clients. Yeah, and we'll talk about that, but we're just getting these numbers right and the process of how this is going to work. Because when you have to physically go and put money in, you don't want to do that. It's not a nice feeling. So we're anchoring in this stuff. That motion of having to do, we don't want to do. But if your wage is going into that trading, you'll just be paying out and go, I've got no money left. We want to do, this is, if you've got a wage from a full-time job, I know some of you have got jobs, right? Put that in your personal account. All the expenses going over here and go, right, I'm short X, so I have to move it over. You don't want your wage just dumping in there and getting all muddled up. You want to go, I don't want to do this. I'm going to move my personal money over. You want it to be a yucky feeling, because we want you to get clients, so you're transferring over less and less. Does that make sense? Those people who are working. Yeah. Good. Okay. We'll get to income and the like. For this week, last week and this week, we're just doing the expenses. So we've got these foundations ready when the money comes in. Yeah. So set up your system. So if your wage is going into your business account, get it changed with your employer. It goes into a personal account and you're going to physically move it over. Any questions around that so far? It's a little bit to do this week, isn't it? Yeah. Just let me check my notes, make sure I've covered everything. Good, good. Now, like last week, we're thinking about things in advance, right? So they're the tasks you're going to do. Yeah. That's what you're going to send back to me. Please send it back to me before Tuesday, because when I get it Tuesday morning, I've been on another call, as some of you have been. I've been on live events this morning, back to back, because I run my inner circle and the like. So I don't get to look at them. So get them to me Friday or Monday morning, my time, the latest, so I can have a look and give you some really good feedback on them. Yeah. Because my feedback is important to you. Yeah. Yeah, Tim.
Can I just clarify some things? I just want to make sure. So when a client funds you, you put 1% to tax or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and you mentioned about profit
Mhm.
and savings as well. You didn't
Yes.
mention-
So whatever accounts you wanted. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens with the profit? This is how the profit account works. It can be your savings as well. You can run the two of them, but this is how your profit is going to work. We're going to put 1% over, 1% over, 1% over. And at the end of 90 days, we're going to say in our profit / savings account, we have $2,000. Right? What are we going to do about that? Now, we can say, well, my wage is subsidizing me. I don't have any big personal expenses. I feel comfortable. I'm going to leave that $2,000 in that account. And I'm going to grow that profit account. Yeah. And at the end of the 90 days, you go, no, I'm going to reward myself and I want to go out and have a weekend away. So I'm going to take $500 out of that, right? And I'm going to go and buy myself something, whatever that is. And I'm going to leave 1,500 in. So this is your profit. You can draw it out, and I'll explain how you can draw it out. You can, because that's an accounting practice. So if you've put money in with your wage, you go, no, I'm going to pay myself back $500. So I put $500 in of my own personal money. I'm just going to pay that back to myself. Or I'm going to go and shout myself whatever you want to spend it on. You've got your wage that you live on, you pay your groceries out of, and this is your bonus. Get bonuses at work. This is your bonus. This is your profit in your business. You get to reward yourself with. And you might go, well, my reward is a laptop, even though it's a business expense, because, I like to buy myself a new laptop. Like personally, that's a reward, right? So I go, well, I'm going to use that $2,000 to buy myself a new laptop. You don't have to go and save up. You don't have to put it on a payment plan. You don't have to, scrounge around. It's sitting in your profit account. You get to choose how you spend that profit. If you want to buy something for the business, you can. If you want to buy something for yourself, you can. If you want to do a bit of both, you can. Or you want to leave it there and grow it, because you might go, ideally, is to have at least 3 months break even in there. Yeah. Because depending on your business model, like I have November off, right? So you might go, I want to take a month off, but I'm not going to earn any money in that November. It's not a perfect model, but just as an example, you can draw that money from your savings or profit to cover the expenses for that month. You might, over Christmas, some people don't coach with you, or your program's finishing. You might have enough in the profit to bring it over as your operating expenses. But you don't just drag it over, right? It's at the end of the 90 days, how am I going to use this money? In a profit sense, in a saving sense, not an operating sense. Does everyone see the difference? So you got profit in your company, in your business, immediately. From the first payment you get from a client, you have profit in your business. And as you get more and more clients, you can take up that 1%. As I said, we'll aim for 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%. Yeah. But for now, do 1% when things are a bit tight, so you're in the habit. Yeah. And what happens, like I said last week, is it's like the toothpaste. When you're looking in your bank account and there's only $80 instead of 100, you're only going to spend 80. You're going to use less toothpaste. I'm not saying be a tight ass, but you'll be very conscious. I've only got 80. You're not thinking about the other 20 sitting in your bank account. You're just going to look and see the 80. You'll get creative. You'll find more clients. You'll find lesser expenses. You'll get creative, so you're sticking to the 80. Does that all make sense to you? Yeah? I love looking at it going, oh, you know, I've got $80 and not having 100 in there and thinking I've got 100 to spend when I've only got 80 to spend. I need to pay the taxation department, my taxes, whatever it is that you've set up. Yeah. So we're going to get into the habit of doing this every single time. Yeah. On the 10th and the 25th at least. If you do your accounts weekly, do it weekly. I do it weekly because my bookkeeper does the books on Thursday, and every Thursday we're moving it over. Yeah. I had one of my staff many years ago overhear we were talking about the accounts, moving them over, and she said, my bookkeeper said to me, there's not enough in the account for wages. There was enough in the account, but we moved the wages over because I put the wages over at the beginning of the month because HydroClean Australia gets paid monthly. They get paid once a month. So I moved the wages over out of my trading account, right? I moved the wages over. So my team get paid. I'm not looking at my bank account and doing, you know, spending it all and then not having wages at the end of the month. So I move over wages. And so she didn't quite, the terminology wasn't quite right. But she said, oh, Sharon, there's not enough wages for this week, meaning I hadn't done the transfer over into the main account. There was enough money in the main account, but that's not how we behave. We're like, we've got to move the wages over for this week. And a staff member overheard that and went into John and said, I heard you don't have enough money for wages. I'm not working if you can't pay me my wages. A bit dramatic. But that's how we think. We're not paying the wages out of the main account. We're moving it over. If she'd said, oh, Sharon, you just need to move the wages over, it would have sounded better for the employee. But she didn't. She goes, oh, there's not enough money for the wages. How she said it wasn't quite right. But that's how we do it. We're just not drawing it out of the main account. It's got to come over. Yeah. So you go, oh, this is a bit of work moving money backwards and forwards. Yet it makes life so much more simpler. Because you're looking at your trading account, that's all the money you have. Yeah. But if I had all my wages sitting in HydroClean in that main account, I'd be going, oh shit, I've got shitloads of money. All right. And then come week 4 of the month going, shit, there's Abigail's wages. So that's really important for me. Yeah. Ideally, in your profit account, you should have enough to operate for a month or two, just in case you get unwell or can't work for a reason, or you want a month off. You can have a slump in income and you've got enough reserves there. We might have a bloody COVID. You know, God only knows what's coming. Yeah. So you might go, well, I'm not going to reward myself for a few months until I have a little nest egg there, little savings. The girl said she works for the fun times for the money. It's a laugh a minute in our place, isn't it? Laugh a minute. Yeah. So any questions around that? And then I'll get you to start thinking about things we'll be talking about next week. See, in this, we're doing and we're thinking about things to come because it takes some time to think about this, yeah? And as you're doing it, you're filling out, this is coming clearer. So send it again to me this week. Send me your list of expenses. Send me a list of your business expenses. Yeah. Decide what percentage of profit you're going to put across. Is it 1%? I know some of you have done it. Some of you haven't. It was to think about this week. I want it done this week. Last week. I want it done this week. I want you to have that firm decision if you haven't made it. Yeah. And how much wage you want to draw out of the business. It might be very small at the moment because you might be subsidized elsewhere. But I would be doing this. I'd be like, ideally, I need, because you know what the business is paying for. I need, might be $500 a week. It might be $1,000 a week to pay my rent, my home loan, because that's very difficult to get out of your business, even though the home loan may have a percentage. But my rent, my food, my going out, my margaritas, I need $1,000. Yeah. I would be getting into the habit of drawing the $1,000 out, even if you got to put it in. Okay. And you go, well, that's a bit silly. My work wage, I can just live off that. No. Start because you're going to want to get in the habit of drawing your wage first, because we draw our wage last. Yeah. It might seem like why would I put it in just to take it out? But it's showing that transaction in your company. Yeah. You're getting used to drawing a wage out, because we run businesses, we never draw a wage. Because you go, I can't afford it. I haven't got enough clients. My cleaning comes out of my business. My cleaner I pay as a business expense. Remember I said get a house manager in as your first expense in your business? It's a business expense. Yeah. And so this will start getting clearer for you now. So Cheryl and Bridget, you may need to adjust that, because you're going to look at those expenses, yeah, and break them down into those columns. Yeah. Now, what I want you to start thinking about for next week, you don't have to do a lot, but I want you to start thinking about it, because you've got a lot to do this week with ringing suppliers. Get as many suppliers done. Like, just get this shit done. You don't want to be doing this in 6 months' time. You're going to get your suppliers done, because it's a crappy job. It's fulfilling when you get lots of reductions, but it's not something we all go out going, yeah, got to ring some suppliers today. We don't get excited about that. So I want you to dig deep by calling them. You know? Don't procrastinate on it. Just start picking up the phone. Yeah. Can we send an Excel doc with this information? Yes, of course. Okay. I want you to start thinking about your products and services. Done a lot of this in the masterclass. What are you actually selling? So we want high income, less work. Is it one-on-one coaching and that's it? Great. Is it you want to run a little mini group coaching session? You might want to run an event, because you did your yearly planning. Yeah. You would have a product pyramid. If you haven't, do your product pyramid that we do in the masterclass. What are my products for free, low cost, high cost? Yeah. Because I don't want you offering out 101 products and services. When we talking about income in the next couple of weeks, it'll be a couple of products or services. That's it. Okay. So income coming in. Because sometimes we offer up a service that doesn't earn us money. So there was a furniture place that their biggest seller was a chair, right? They had other bits and pieces of furniture, but their biggest biggest seller was a chair. But when you sat down and did the expenses on the chair, they weren't making any money out of the chair. Right? And so to tell the company, stop selling the chair, they were like, what the hell? That's our biggest seller. But it's not making you any money. So you can work less because you're not building so many chairs and earn the same amount of money because that's not earning you any money. And for some people to stop offering a product or a service, it's ego, because that was their ego. Yeah, that's our biggest seller. I'm not saying they were egotistical, but it's ego. That's my biggest seller. But you'd make more money drinking margaritas on the beach. Yeah? So stop doing anything that's not making you money. So I want you to have a look at the products and services. You can go into my 12-week business academy, and in the product and service section, you can work out what's making you money. Coaching is a good money maker because there's not a lot of expenses. You don't have to have a physical product to sell. Yeah. So one-on-one coaching or group coaching or the like has very little expense. But I just want you to double check. Like when I do my hypnosis, I get the girls, we know our costs. Am I making money? Why am I doing it? If it's not making me money, then I will not continue to do it. Or I can go, yeah, I'm going to lose money every time I do it, but I like doing it. And that's a call you make, right? It's not a very good business decision. But myself and my team are aware when we run an event, how much money that makes, so I can make decisions next year on whether I run it again or not. Because I could do other things that make me more money and have greater impact on people, possibly. So you're making informed choices about your income streams. Yeah. So I want you to think about that, and we'll talk more about that. Get your pyramid out if you haven't done it, or look at it from what you did last year and have a look at those products that are going to bring you income and how much they're costing you to do that. Any questions around that?
What about hypnosis, as I've put it in the chat?
Oh, sorry. Hypno. Yeah. Oh, sorry. There is some. I forgot about my chat box for a bit. I got so passionate about it. Yeah. Hypnosis. If you've got hypnosis clients and doing hypnosis appointments, that's an income stream. It's one of your 8 income streams. We're going to touch on the wheel in the coming weeks. Yeah. So think about what your 8 income sources are in the form of a wheel. But Hypno is a great product. I call it a product, even though it is a service. All of my things are products. Everything I do is. Or put the price up and start making more profit. Yeah, Shane, price up. I could look at Hypno and go, oh, I didn't make any money out of my hypnosis event. I'm not going to charge $897 anymore. I'm going to charge $1,897. That might give me profit. Yeah. The same with the chair, either increase the price or stop doing it. If you don't think it can sustain the price, stop doing it. Okay, that's a lot for today, guys. Everyone clear on what they have to do? You'll get an action sheet sent through to you, but keep working on the numbers. Yeah, but give me detail when you send your homework back to me. Don't say, tick, I've done. Go, hey, here's my list. Here's my suppliers. Here's my reduction. Yeah, because then I can give you feedback. Yeah, it can help you more in between. And the quicker you get it to me, the more help I can give you. If you get it to me on Monday afternoon, you're not going to get any feedback from me before Tuesday. Yeah. And you can update me. You can send me stuff. You might do that and then go, oh, I've rang more suppliers. Here's my updated list. You know, you can keep updating me if you wish. Yeah. Now, the best way to send this information to us is manager at to Sophie. Sophie prints it off. So I've got it printed off. She gets it to me, and then I can get the information back to you. The messengers just, we like this week we were looking in 4 or 5 different destinations. So let's just tighten that. If that's okay with you guys, to help me out with my logistics. Because I was really frightened I was going to miss someone this week because I wasn't sure where it was coming in from. So I want to make sure we're all in the same spot, and then nothing's missed. Some of it went to Abigail, some of it went to the group, some went to Sophie, some went to me. So we'll just tighten that up a little bit. That way I won't miss you. Yeah. Okay, any final questions, and then we'll finish up. Good. Hardcore boot camp. Keep up the good work. You got this. If you've got any questions during the week, let me know. Okay. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.